2018 Ford Mustang GT. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Your Tech Report video, and as you can see, we're doing something a little special today. You guys have been asking for more car coverage, so we're giving you more car coverage, and today, it's the 2018 Ford Mustang GT Premium Edition with performance package and a whole other bunch of bells and whistles. This thing, as beautiful as it is, it's an absolute monster on the inside. We're talking about a 5-liter, 460 horsepower engine, I believe. They've also tweaked the suspension. They have tweaked the handling. They've tweaked pretty much everything on this car to be a performance beast. But as great as it looks and as great as the numbers look on a piece of paper, there's going to be nothing like getting in it and giving you guys our opinion of what it's like to get behind the wheel of this fantastic looking, beautiful American muscle car. Now, of course, you can see the lines on this thing are stunning. And what I love about this is they kind of took the best from the old school Mustang and incorporated it with sort of a new look. But I love the throwback of the fastback look to this car. Ford Mustangs have always been beautiful. They've always been aggressive looking. But over the years, they've gone through different phases, and I think this may be my favorite iteration of this vehicle in maybe 2 or 3 decades. I mean, if you look at the back of the car, you'll see the 4-tipped dual exhaust. Looks very aggressive, very cool, low to the ground, but not so low to the ground that the car bottoms out. The lines on the side are absolutely stunning, and everything continues. The new and old theme kind of continues on the interior as well. You'll see here, the cockpit is very comfortable. I expected it to be a little more cramped. It was really comfortable, but as I said, the cues of mixing old with new can be seen on the interior as well. Even in the dash here, you'll see the rounded gauges, which are kind of a throwback again to older Mustangs, mixed with a newfangled kind of look to the dashboard and the head unit. Of course, we get Sync 3 in this vehicle, so it can tie into your smartphone and have all of your favorite apps from your phone put onto the car as well. You can even customize the LEDs. I kind of tricked this out in my own way. I don't know if you can see it during the day here, but we took it and made blue mixed with purple, mixed with seafoam green. It looks really, really cool. All the stats, all the numbers, you can read all about that online, but what makes these things special that we do together is when I get in the car and I actually talk about what it's like to be behind the wheel. So let's get in. So here I am sitting comfortably inside the 2018 Ford Mustang GT, and first of all, this is a whole new camera rig setup that we're trying. I'm actually shooting this on the iPhone X with a Shure microphone plugged into the lightning connector, so I'm hoping this looks okay and sounds okay. It's going to be a work in progress until I can figure out the best way to actually shoot things from inside the car. I don't have the car turned on yet because that's kind of a fun thing to share with you guys. The sound of this car, that's one of the things that sets it apart from other vehicles, is that great note, that engine growl when you start it up. Okay, so what do you say we power this baby up? It's got a push button start. Perfect. Oh man, that sounds so good. Nothing sounds like the engine of a Ford Mustang GT. I'm sorry, that growl, and that's the first thing you need to know about this car. It's not a subtle car. And what I mean by that is, it's not the kind of car you're going to drive and not get noticed in. So if you don't want to be noticed, if you don't want people to notice your car, the Mustang GT is not the car for you. And I've been driving this for a week, and wherever I go, I've never seen anybody have anything but a big smile and give me a big thumbs up. But people notice this car. It's loud, it's powerful, it's got that Orange Fury paint job, and I think Orange Fury may be the most perfect name for the paint that they could have come up with. With all that horsepower, all that torque, all the performance, it is a car that you're going to get noticed in. So if you're kind of shy and don't want people noticing you when you arrive, when you leave, this is not the vehicle for you. That being said, I think the thing that impresses me most about this car, and we're going to kind of take off as I'm telling you this, the thing that impresses me most about this car is that as powerful as it is, it also handles really, really well. It also goes into corners really, really well. The Ford engineering team that worked on the GT did an amazing job with suspension, steering, wheel camber, everything that controls how you feel going in and out of turns and how secure you feel going in and out of turns. It's really amazing. So for a car that really competes with Porsches at about half the price in terms of speed and performance, it also handles incredibly well, and that's something that in the past Mustang owners have complained a little bit about, that it didn't have the handling performance necessarily match the raw power that it has. But I think the 2018 model, a perfect marriage of power and handling, and it's something that really kind of surprised me because it's a big heavy car, but it handles in a very nimble, friendly way. So bravo to you, Ford engineers. Okay, sunglasses on, and here we go. So I'm driving a 6-speed right now, a 6-speed manual transmission, and the first thing you're going to notice is the clutch, and you're going to notice it in a good way. Because again, every clutch on every vehicle is a little bit different, and the point of engagement is actually kind of perfect in this Mustang GT. It's not too low, so that you have to immediately hit on the gas as you ease off the second you release the clutch pedal, and it's not so high. I think the worst part would be if it was a very high release point where your knees are all the way pulled back and you still have it engaged. Hope you can hear me over the motor. Maybe you hope you can. Maybe you just want to listen to the motor instead of me. The point of engagement is actually kind of perfect. So the clutch, the transmission, everything works in harmony very, very nicely. The other thing that I was very impressed by and continue to be impressed by is the actual gearing of this car. Because again, you can have a great performance vehicle, but if it's not geared properly, it can feel off balance as you're driving. And to me, the most important gear to get right has always been third gear. I'm sure there are car enthusiasts out there that have a different feeling about this, but for me, third gear has always been the most flexible and most important gear. Listen to me go, here we go. Oh my God, people are looking at me now. So yeah, third gear, if it's geared too high or too low, can completely change the driving experience. If you have to get into it too early and aren't able to take it up to highway speed or freeway speed in third gear, which most of us do, then that's going to be a problem. If it goes too high and too late, that creates another problem getting out of second. So they really did a great job gearing this. In particular, third gear is great for cruising around at 35. It's also good for cruising at low freeway speed. So it's very flexible third gear. Again, very happy about that. Now, I don't recommend this, but this car goes straight as an arrow without any adjustment necessary. I'll put my hands on back now in case I'm making you nervous. The handling is superb, and again, balancing the steering wheel is a very tricky act. If you leave it too rubbery or too forgiving, again, it has that rubbery feeling, and you feel like you have no direct input, you have no direct connection to the steering column. But if you have it too tight, every little twitch that you make will cause the car to jump left and right. This one is the perfect balance. You'll hear me using that term a lot, balance, when it comes to the GT, because again, this is something that really surprised me. I was thinking this was just going to be a powerful beast that I had to muscle into gear, that I have to muscle in and out of turns, and it's not that way. It's very user-friendly. Now, if I was in track mode, and yes, this car does have track mode, it might be a different experience because I think track mode changes your acceleration a little bit. There are different modes that you can control in the car for when it's dry weather, wet weather, whether you're on a track. In fact, there's something in the head unit right here in the display that is specific to track mode that gives you braking performance, acceleration, all the things that track racers love to know about their vehicles. But I'm not going to be using that right here in the streets of Woodland Hills, California, because for now I have a clean record and I don't want to get another ticket. Another thing I wanted to bring up real quick is the comfort of the seat. It's almost like when I do a headphone review and I talk about how headphones feel when they're on your head, and it doesn't matter what kind of performance you have in a headphone, if it doesn't feel comfortable on your head, you won't wear it long enough to notice. And I think it's a similar thing when it comes to cars. If the car is not comfortable to sit in, the driving experience overall is going to be ruined. And I find that this car is very, very comfortable, very supportive. It's got nice bolsters on the side. Of course, you also have the lumbar support that's automatic and adjustable. But again, the bottom cushion and how it hits the back of your legs, which of course causes leg fatigue and cramping over long distances, kind of the perfect balance. Again, I'm using that word balance between being supportive, but not being so supportive that it really affects your circulation and the ability to sit in cars for long drives. So the seat works as well as everything else in this car. Now let's talk a little bit about acceleration here, which is funny because I'm at a stoplight right now. This car has some big, hairy, powerful pistons. Is that politically correct? This car is incredibly quick. Again, 460 horsepower will get you where you want to go very quickly. But surprisingly enough, I was very, very pleased with how smooth the acceleration was. Okay, now I pulled over for a second because I wasn't sure if the way that I have the camera mounted on the windshield, if it was going to vibrate the whole time and drive you guys crazy. So if it was vibrating too much, I apologize again. Trying to figure out the best way to mount the camera, still get a really spontaneous driving experience that looks and sounds good for our YouTube viewers, obviously. So let's just pull over and make sure we can get something said here without any vibration whatsoever. Ergonomics inside the car, really, really good. All the gauges are very clear. The steering wheel, a lot of controls on the steering wheel. If you look really quickly, at first it can be very overwhelming to see this many buttons. I'm counting 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, about 19 or 20 buttons on the steering wheel, but each area is designated to a different function. At first, don't be overwhelmed. It's very easy to figure out. The gauge is here. I mean, you know, the speedometer, the tachometer, old school round with, of course, the aluminum trim on the outside, and sandwiched in between is the new school stuff. The new school stuff that has, you know, different sorts of readouts for driving history, again, track performance, all the different readouts of your car, and of course, the big screen that sits in the middle here that gives you your Sync 3, which with my iPhone 10 has been really great. It's worked really great. All of my apps just transitioned, the ones that are enabled for CarPlay, transitioned right onto the head unit and look and sound really good. Automatic air conditioning system works really well. The car gets cool, gets warm very, very quickly. I'm really happy that this car could be an everyday driver for most people. I know that, you know, the GT, the Ford, you know, Mustang GT is specifically made for hard driving enthusiasts, but it still can be your everyday car. It could be a car that you go shopping in, take your kids to school in. Oh, believe me, the kids loved when I took them to school in this thing. They were smiling ear to ear the entire time. Their friends saw them, the way the car sounded, they absolutely loved it. So it's very easy to see this vehicle as your everyday driver. I'm even getting mileage in the low to mid 20s, and I've been hitting this car pretty hard. No, not too hard, Ford, don't worry, I've been taking care of it. But I've been driving this hard enough to give you guys a really good impression of how it performs, and still, really decent gas mileage. Fact is, I don't have anything bad to say about this car, except they're going to take it back from me. So the way this car is trimmed out, I think you're looking at a little over $48,000. But in terms of performance, this car can absolutely kill cars that are 2, even 3 times the price. That engine sounds so sweet, So there you go, our first impressions of the 2018 Ford Mustang GT Premium Edition with Performance Package. I've got not a single bad thing to say about this car. Believe me, I was looking for things that I can share. We like to share little things like, well, they could have done this better, but I was surprised for the better at every turn when it came to this car. Performance even exceeded my expectations, even knowing how powerful it was. How comfortable it was definitely a surprise, and how easy it was to handle, especially with its reputation as being the ultimate muscle car. The fact that it handled so well and was so user-friendly in every way, I just couldn't be happier. So if you'd like to see us do more of these kinds of videos, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up and let us know what your favorite vehicle is. Maybe we can go ask the manufacturer and do a test drive of your favorite car. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon down below, because subscribing not only helps us bring you these videos, but also makes you eligible for all of our giveaways. And hitting that notification bell means you will get notified every time we release a new video. So we thank you for watching. Thanks for being tolerant if it was too shaky or if my big mug was too close. We will work out the kinks for all these car videos, I promise. And we will see you on the next one.